Well, a multi-billion-dollar hospital precinct is said to be built next to Melbourne's forthcoming new train line as Daniel Andrews takes aim at the Liberals over their choice to build hospitals instead of a rail project. Our Victorian political reporter Simon Love joins us. Simon, just take us through the numbers here. How much will it cost?
Well, Ash, ultimately the project will cost up to $6 billion, but the Premier so far is only committing to up to $2.5 billion of state money, and he stresses this is a government announcement. It's not a Labor election pledge. It'll be accounted for in the pre-election budget costings, but this will see essentially the Royal Melbourne and the Royal Women's Hospitals have a new campus here at Arden, and this is also where a train station is being built as part of the Metro Tunnel project. The next station along will be Parkville, where those current hospitals are. So it's essentially only a 2-minute train trip between these two hospital campuses, but it would be built by, or at least the first stage, opened by 2031. But there is question marks over how this will be paid for, given that the Liberals are scrapping the suburban rail loop project, redirecting that money into health. Daniel Andrews, though, asked whether this project will add to the state's debt burden. Here was his response.
Well, this is not a question of whether you pay for it or it's whether you can afford not to. Like, we need to get on and build this hospital and many other hospitals. We also need to build transport projects.
So the project, though, once it does get more funding, Daniel Andrews is hopeful that he'd get a commitment too from the Commonwealth government. Once the towers are built here, some of the old buildings at Parkville would be demolished and refurbished. So it's not just a construction site here, Ash.
And Simon, I see on the other side of the fence, the Liberals are downplaying some departures from party headquarters. What have you been hearing?
Certainly trying to downplay it, but not great timing for the Liberals to be losing staff members from the party 6 weeks out from pre-polling opening ahead of the November 26th election. Scott Sampson was a deputy director for the Victorian Liberal Party. Over the weekend, he was offered a new contract but elected not to take that contract up. There are reports that he was pushed out or even had to resign because of some of the views of the new Liberal Party president, Greg Mirabella. It's certainly not great timing for the Liberal Party as it shuffles more decks internally, still behind in the polls ahead of that election. Here was Matthew Guy downplaying all the moves.
Actually, we lost no senior campaign people. I think there was 3 people in the campaign unit of 60 who changed over at the start of the campaign. Now, 3 of 60, with great respect, is probably less attrition than what you see in most newsrooms.
And most of Matthew Guy's staff in his opposition office, they've actually taken leave and headed over to Liberal Party headquarters, no doubt trying to seize a little bit more of the momentum heading into that all-important campaign period. The writs will be issued on November 1, Ash.